Good afternoon, everyone. Lee Chidenchen here. I am the Director of Sales for the HVAC market at Kinetics Noise Control. I'm joined today by Tom Yushchak, the VP of Engineering at Kinetics, and we're very excited to introduce our new engineering services from Kinetics Noise Control. As we know, industry-wide right now, there's a lot of buzz around delegated design and designing custom applications. So here at Kinetics, we want to make sure we have as many services available. As know, everyone's time is precious, so we'll keep this pretty short and sweet today. There's an awful lot of attendees, so we will not open it up for questions, but please forward any questions to the HVAC sales team at Kinetics. So without further ado, I'm going to hand it over to Tom.
All right, thank you very much, Lee. Welcome, everybody. I'm glad you could attend. I'm pretty excited to share this information with you. Here we go, I'm going too fast here. So this has been something that I've personally wanted to do for a long time. I'm the Vice President of Engineering at Kinetics. I have been wanting to make our capabilities more accessible to our customer base because we do a lot of really in-depth design and analysis work that I think could be of a big benefit if we let it out to a larger audience. So the first slide here, I just want to kind of introduce you to the Kinetics engineering team. We are a team of 23 people, so we have a pretty significant size group. In that team, we have 5 licensed professional engineers, and we hold licenses in all 50 states. We have 13 people that have bachelor's degrees in either mechanical engineering or civil and structural, and we have 3 people with master's degrees and a collective experience of more than 200 years. We got a lot of expertise and depth of expertise in, of course, vibration and noise control, but also in seismic and wind applications for our rooftop equipment and things like that. We have a very in-depth knowledge of building code requirements of not only the U.S. but Canada codes and some of the codes for Middle East and some other parts of the world as well. We have some very top-of-the-line analysis and design tools at our disposal as well, and that's something that I think gives us some leverage beyond what other people can do, and I'll talk a little bit about that. But we have, a lot of people skilled in finite element analysis and thermal applications, and just in component design and experience. We're a very diverse team. We have some people that's been around. Diverse in a number of different ways, years of experience. We have people that have been with us for a long time. We have some new go-getters that are kind of fresh out of school. So we have a real nice broad mix of engineering talent and experience across the group, and it's a good group to help work for you. So right now, engineering services is kind of new and something that we're rolling out, but it's nothing new at all for Kinetics. We do engineering design service on a daily basis, but it's more or less on an ad hoc basis right now. It's like special jobs come in where they need something special, and we'll go and do custom work as needed. What we want to do is take those capabilities and roll them out to everybody, so everybody has kind of access and can use it then as either a nice add to what you're trying to sell, or as just a standalone service. So some of the areas that we are heavy in all the time are like pipe stress analysis. Pipe stress, from a point of view of a seismic restraint, for example, for pipes, or for thermal applications where you have pipes that are changing in diameters or changing in temperatures, and you need to have either expansion loops or thermal loops designed in to keep the pipe stress down. We have people who specialize in that, and I think one of the things that this allows us to do is go beyond guidelines for like restraint layout and expansion loop design, for example. We can go in there and we can actually model up the system. We can take a detailed look at it and say, hey, this is really exactly where you need to put your restraints, or this is the type of loop. We can custom design the loops, or we can use products that are available in the market for expansion joints. Either way, we can help you out with that. But it allows us to kind of go in and fine tune what you actually need as opposed to over designing a system. We can take a close look at it and really tailor the solution to what the system needs. So pipe stresses analysis is something where everything we do is either going to be, well, in most cases both, ASCE compliance, which is really all of our building code type things, the IBCs and all that's based off ASCE 7, as well as B31 compliance. So B31 gets more into your process piping and your boiler piping, but it also does residential and commercial piping as well. And we can be fully compliant and certify our designs to that. Of course, we can get into rigid couplings, flexible couplings to design those in your system, and everything can be stamped and certified by a professional engineer. Kind of related to that is riser design, which are kind of vertical pipes, or you can be ducts as well. So either a duct riser or a pipe riser. Oftentimes these things can be really long, go up multiple stories, 30 stories in a building or something, and they undergo temperature changes. So they have thermal conditions, often multiple thermal conditions that they have to operate within at different times of the year. And the type of riser design itself can vary between like just a single anchor system, or that whole riser is being supported in one spot, or in the case of long ones, it's often supported with springs as well as an anchor to help spread that load out and not overload the building, or even to fully floating designs which don't use an anchor at all, but just use like a restrained spring assembly that allows it to shift and kind of live with the building. We can do any of those types of designs, and we can give input on the loads that are passed on to the structure, as well as in the piping or ductwork itself, to make sure that everything is compliant. Pardon me. And these also can be B31 or ASCE compliant. Another thing that often happens with risers is you get lateral loads, especially if you're in like a seismic area, and there's guides out there like SMACMA and things that will say you need to put a guide every floor, every other floor. We have the ability to go in and really fine tune that and only put them where you need it, and then it's all calculation based, which is all code accepted, and it can be reviewed and stamped by a professional engineer as well. So a lot with piping and risers. One of the areas that I think makes us unique is we can do full dynamic vibration analysis. I mean, of course, we're doing vibration isolation all the time. That's a kind of a sweet spot for our products, but it goes well beyond just kind of component type scale up to full structural vibration analysis. For example, we had a project in here a month or so ago with these two really large, heavy centrifugal units that were operating side by side of each other, and they weren't being put on a rigid concrete base. They were actually being put up on the second floor of a building, and that beam structure of that building could become part of the isolation system, if you will, and we had to design it so that to fully isolate that equipment from the building. And even though we were using 3-foot thick concrete pads, we were able to go in there and look at their girder and beam layout and this was a new construction, so we could give them feedback on how to fine tune that in order to really keep all the vibration out of their structure. And we can do that for transients, startup, things can kick. These were 2 units operating side by side. Sometimes they might be in phase or out of phase, or emergency shutoff type things. We can look at all those different cases and really optimize a design. And I think this capability makes us pretty unique to what we have to offer, as well as this one. So of course we do seismic and wind certification all the time on our systems, but we can go beyond that and actually look at equipment and run it through simulated shaker table analysis. And so in these cases, we would not be able to tell you if the equipment would operate after a seismic event, but we can check its structure and to make sure that it will remain intact after a seismic event. This is something that the industry is slowly creeping towards, but we have the capability to do it now. And like for OEM applications or things where people want to get equipment certified that it can withstand a certain level, of earthquake, we can do that. We do need details of the equipment to do it. I mean, typically like a 3D step file from the manufacturer or pretty detailed manufacturing drawings. But if we have that information, we can simulate all kinds of different earthquakes or wind for that matter in a totally dynamic way. And in addition to that, we get, when it comes to delegated design, we have things that come through all the time from sites that are, hey, we ran into a problem. Can you help solve it for us? So things like, they're running some pipe and they need some custom pipe stands designed for them, or they have a kind of a funny little piece of equipment. They need a special little stand designed for it. We definitely have that capability. We work with the client to make sure we understand their needs. Of course, we have manufacturing right in our facilities, so we have good communication with design for manufacturer to keep costs down and to not over design it. Just to design it for the application at hand. We have, it can be totally code compliant and come with a full report that basically gives the basis of the design and shows that it's fit for service for the application. And we can supply manufactured drawings for that too, to even be built by a third party, where we just specify then it must be built to our spec, but we can design it and sell that design for you. Structural design services, this is something else I think that helps set Kinetics apart, as we do have a structural engineer on staff, and we can get into, again, this gets into delegated design services. If you need a concrete pad design, which we ran into not long ago, something special happened at a job site and they didn't have the pads design and they came to Kinetics to help them do that. We can do that. Beam structural steel, how it's any kind of a structural steel layout or design for a support system or a support structure is right up our alley to be able to provide that as well. Column design, full foundation and anchorage design as well. We have the know-how and expertise to help you out there. So those are really the services that we're launching today. We are looking at building on those services as we go through the year to include some other things that I'll talk about at another date as we add them, but some pretty exciting additions that we're planning. But the real thing here is what we're offering to everybody is a way to really help leverage the capabilities of Kinetics, not only with our products, but what other services we can offer. Again, either as add-ons to get your foot in the door, be able to sell more Kinetics products if you can help solve some other problems that are on the site, or as just a standalone service where somebody needs something, and even if we don't have a product for it, we can help design it for them and provide the drawings. If we can either manufacture it as a custom thing, or we can provide the detailed manufacturing drawings as well. So that's all I wanted to let everybody know about today. I'm really excited about it, looking forward to working with everybody. And I'm going to hand it back off to Lee.
Thanks, Tom. Good job. Again, we didn't want to take too much of everyone's time today, but I personally want to just, Tom has done an awful lot of work to get to this point. And, Kinetics, it's fine. It's great that we're finally opening the toolbox to everyone else and providing these services. If anyone has any questions, just is curious about how all this is going to look and so on, please don't hesitate to contact my group, HVAC Sales at kineticsnoise.com. That's HVAC Sales at kineticsnoise.com. We'll be happy to answer any of your questions and help you out with pricing or quotes or anything like that. So thanks everyone for their time and have a great day.